Welcome in, everybody. We're diving into some really fascinating stuff today, all about how smaller brands can compete and grow.
Yeah, this is going to be good.
We've been digging into this report, How to Grow Your Brand, put together by the folks over at Mailchimp.
Well, I've heard good things.
It's packed with insights from some real heavy hitters in the marketing world. Les Binet, Dr. Mark Ritson, the big leagues.
Yeah, those are some names you want to listen to for sure.
And the best part is, it's all about how smaller brands, maybe even your brand, can use some of these strategies to really make some waves.
It's easy to get like big brand envy, the big guys have it all figured out.
Oh, totally. But this report kind of flips that script. It's saying, hey, being small and nimble, that's your superpower.
Exactly.
So to kick things off, Les Binet, he leads with this really thought-provoking question. Why grow at all?
Which I love that because growth for growth's sake, it's easy to get caught up in that, right?
It's hamster wheel.
It is. So he's really pushing brands to think about what success actually looks like. And that's going to be different for everybody.
It's about strategy.
Exactly. For some brands, yeah, maybe it is being the biggest name out there. But for others, it might be about having a super loyal following in a niche market.
Or maybe it's about creating a brand with a really strong sense of purpose, even if they're not the biggest player in the game.
Exactly. It's about figuring out what matters to you.
Love that. Now, something else that really jumped out, Binet kind of debunks this whole myth that loyalty programs are everything for small brands.
Which, it's not that loyalty programs don't matter. They definitely can. It's more about priorities.
Okay, so where should those priorities lie?
Binet's research shows that expanding your customer base, especially when you're just starting out, is absolutely essential.
Makes sense. You got to have a base to be loyal to.
Right. Think of it like you need a strong foundation before you can build a skyscraper,
Oh, I like that.
And that's where this next insight comes in. It's called the 95-to-5 rule.
Okay, hit me with it.
So this rule basically says that in any given quarter, only 5% of consumers are actively out there looking for something new in a specific category.
So if we're talking coffee, only 5% of people are actively searching for a new coffee to try.
Exactly. The other 95%, they might be perfectly happy with their current brand, or they're not even thinking about coffee at all.
Oh, I never thought about it like that, but that makes a lot of sense.
So even if every single person who bought your coffee once came back for more, you're missing out on that other 95%.
Okay, now that's scary. So how do you even begin to reach those people, the ones who aren't actively looking?
That, my friend, is the million-dollar question. And Binet's argument is that to really grow, you can't just focus on the people who already know you. You have to capture the attention of those who aren't actively looking. That's where building a strong brand comes in.
It's about getting your name out there, building that brand awareness.
Exactly. You want people to think of you when they are ready to try something new.
Which brings us to Dr. Ritson and his judo moves. Are you familiar with these?
Oh, yeah, these are great. They're like these little strategic power moves, especially for those smaller brands, the underdogs.
Okay, so break it down for me. What's the first move?
The versus position. It's a bold one.
Yeah.
It's about not being afraid to, in a smart way, call out the competition.
Okay, that sounds a little risky. Do you have an example? Because I'm having a hard time picturing it.
Think about that classic Avis campaign. We try harder.
Oh, right, because they were number 2.
Exactly. They owned that second place spot, and they used it to their advantage. They basically said, hey, we might not be the biggest, but that just means we have to work harder for your business.
And it worked. People loved it.
They did. Ritson says it works because people love an underdog. We inherently root for the little guy. So if you can position yourself as that scrappy underdog going up against the big guys, it can actually make people trust you more.
That's brilliant. It's like counterintuitive marketing almost.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's versus. What about the second judo move?
The niche play. This one's all about finding that underserved corner of the market and really owning it, at least for a while.
Ah, so like Chobani did with Greek yogurt. Right. They weren't just another yogurt on the shelf. They were the Greek yogurt.
Perfect example. They completely dominated that niche, and then once they had that strong foundation, they went big.
Smart. So both of these moves, they're not about outspending the competition. It's about outsmarting them.
100%. It's about using your size and agility to your advantage.
Like playing chess, not checkers. I love it. Now, speaking of strategy, the report also dives into something called the laws of marketing. It sounds very official.
Right, I know. It makes it sound like you're going to get in trouble if you break one.
I know. But really, these laws, they're not just some arbitrary rules somebody made up.
Yeah, these are backed by decades of data and research from some of the top marketing minds out there, like the folks at the Ehrenberg Bass Institute, for example.
Okay, so give me the inside baseball on these laws. How do they actually help small brands win?
Well, one of the most important is the law of double jeopardy.
Okay, that sounds ominous. What is it?
It basically says that smaller brands, not only do they have fewer customers, but those customers also tend to buy from them less often.
So it's like a double whammy.
Exactly. It's a double whammy. And this law, it highlights just how important it is for smaller brands to focus on constantly bringing in new customers.
So even if you have a killer loyalty program, most of your growth is going to come from fresh faces.
Exactly. You got to keep those new customers coming in the door.
Got it. Are there any other laws we should know about?
Definitely. Another one to keep in mind is the duplication of purchase law.
All right, break that one down for me.
Think about your own buying habits for a second.
Yeah.
You probably don't only buy one brand of everything, right?
Oh, definitely not. Like with coffee, I might switch it up depending on my mood or what's on sale.
Exactly. And that's what this law is all about. It means that people buy from multiple brands within a category. So you don't necessarily have to be radically different to succeed. You need to be memorable and easy to buy when that customer is ready.
So brand awareness is key. You want to be top of mind when that customer is making their decision. But with all the changes in data privacy lately, how do you do that effectively and ethically?
That is the million-dollar question. And honestly, it's something a lot of brands are grappling with right now. But there's one tool that's emerging as a really powerful solution, and the report really dives deep into it: zero-party data.
All right, let's talk about that. What exactly is zero-party data, and how is it different from all the other data we hear about? Zero-party data. It sounds kind of futuristic and honestly a little bit intimidating.
I know, right? It sounds like something out of the Matrix or something.
Right. But really at its core, it's a pretty simple concept.
Yeah, it's actually very straightforward when you break it down. Zero-party data is essentially information that a customer willingly and intentionally gives directly to you, the brand.
So it's not about cracking cookies or like spying on people's browsing history or anything like that.
Yeah, no, not at all. This is about respect and transparency. You're saying to your customer, hey, we value your privacy, tell us what you're comfortable sharing, and we'll use that information to make your experience even better.
Okay, so it's like a direct line of communication. They're opting in, telling you exactly what they want you to know.
Exactly. They're in the driver's seat. Do you want to hear an example?
Yes. An example would be amazing.
Okay, so imagine you're a brand and you're getting ready for a big sale. You could ask your email subscribers, what's your favorite product feature? Or what are you most excited to shop for? In exchange for that little tidbit of info, they get early access to the sale.
Oh, I love that. So they get a little perk, you get valuable information. It's a win-win.
Exactly. And it makes that data collection feel so much less transactional and more like, a two-way street.
Absolutely. It builds trust. And I feel like customers these days, we can sniff out a brand that's not being genuine or transparent from a mile away.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially with all the, data breaches and privacy concerns in the news lately, people are a lot more aware of how their data is being used.
Absolutely. So this zero-party data, it's about giving customers that control and making data collection engaging. The report even talks about going beyond those boring old surveys.
Yes, because nobody wants to fill out a boring survey. Think polls, quizzes, interactive content. Make it fun. Make it valuable for your audience.
It's like that "what kind of bread are you" quiz that was going around a while back.
Yes, exactly. Everyone was sharing the results. And sure, it's a little silly, but it's a great example of how you can gather information about people's preferences in a way that's fun and engaging.
It doesn't feel intrusive. And because that data is coming directly from the source, in a context where they're actively engaged, it's probably way more insightful than what you'd get from just, passive tracking.
Way more insightful. You're getting real, honest feedback that you can actually use.
Right. So you can tailor your messages, your promotions, maybe even your product development, all based on what your customers are telling you.
Exactly. So it's not just about collecting any data. It's about getting the right data ethically and actually using it to enhance that customer experience.
Love it. It's all about that customer-centric approach.
100%. Now, the report does emphasize that even though you're asking customers to share this information directly, you still need to be really thoughtful about how you're using it.
Right, because with great power comes great responsibility, right?
Exactly. It's about providing granular control, being really transparent about how that data is going to be used, and allowing customers to choose what they share and what they don't.
Okay, so You've got all this awesome zero-party data. Now what? How do you actually put it to work?
That's where the tech comes in. And thankfully, this is another area where things are getting easier and easier, even for smaller brands.
Technology always moving so fast.
I know. It's hard to keep up sometimes. But basically, it's all about connecting the dots. You want to connect all of your data points, your email platform, your e-commerce system, everything so you can see the complete picture of your customer.
So it's not enough to just collect the data. You have to be able to actually use it strategically.
Exactly. And that's where AI can be an absolute game changer for small brands. The report even calls it the great equalizer.
Okay, AI. That's a whole other can of worms. I feel like when most people hear AI, they think of things like writing ad copy or generating images.
Yeah, that's definitely what's been getting a lot of buzz lately.
But this report, it hints at something much bigger, right?
You're picking up on all the right things. It goes way beyond just those creative applications. AI is changing the strategic game for small brands in really profound ways.
AI for strategy. So we're talking about using AI to make smarter business decisions. In the past, this felt like something only those huge companies with tons of resources could even think about.
Oh, absolutely. Think about things like customer research and market segmentation. Traditionally, to do those well, you needed to pour a ton of money into hiring consultants, getting expensive software. It was a whole thing.
And smaller brands, they often just didn't have the bandwidth or the budget for any of that.
Exactly. They were kind of stuck, either relying on gut feelings or working with much smaller data sets. Not ideal.
Not at all. But now, AI is changing all of that, right?
It's seriously a game changer. The report talks about all of these AI-powered platforms that are popping up. They can analyze these massive amounts of data, way more than any human could handle, and pull out those golden insights, those little nuggets of wisdom that can really make a difference.
So it's like having a whole team of data scientists on call, but without the hefty price tag.
Right. And it's not just about crunching numbers. It's about understanding those numbers, extracting meaning from them.
So what you're saying is small brands can finally access the same level of strategic insight as those big players.
The playing field is definitely leveling. And the cool thing is, it goes way beyond just the research phase. This report gives examples of AI being used to identify a brand's ideal customer, even helping them fine-tune their pricing strategy.
Wow, that's incredible. And it's all happening so fast.
It is. And the pace of innovation in this space is only accelerating. Imagine being able to personalize every customer's journey in real time. That's the power of AI.
Okay, my mind is officially blown. So much to think about. This whole report, it's been a wild ride. We started out talking about big brand envy, and now I'm just sitting here feeling super inspired. Like, hey, we can totally do this.
Yes, exactly. And that's what I love about this report. It's not just a bunch of theories and abstract ideas. It's a call to action for all those small brands out there, a rallying cry to redefine what's possible.
So for listener, the one who's maybe feeling a little overwhelmed, but also excited about all this, what's that one big takeaway you want them to walk away with?
Don't underestimate yourself. That's the big one. As a small brand, you've got agility on your side, you've got creativity, and now you've got these incredible tools like zero-party data and AI within reach. So use them.
It's about using those tools strategically and creatively to make some noise, to
Yeah.
really stand out.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to experiment, to break the mold, to really own your space.
Love it. What rules are you going to break on your path to growth? That's something for all of us to think about. Until next time.